the biggest thing, and the reason why I messaged you is, I'm lucky because I've got a lot of really great students in the coaching business side of things. Like, that's great. But you kind of reach a time cap with that. There are only so many hours in the week to do one-on-one coachings. And I just feel like with the audience that I have, money's not why I'm doing it, but you got to live. So I'm looking at what ways I can take my audience and create value for them that also has a good enough return on investment for me. Mm-hmm. And I don't, the music side of things, like I have the training, I have the skills, but it's the marketing, it's that kind of side that, I'm kind of a chicken with my head cut off.
Right. I got you.
Yeah.
So you're the one thing that you're doing correctly though, is you've focused so much time on building the audience first that now you're trying to figure out how to monetize, right? Sounds like that's where you're at. Where most people that want to do social media is they're like, well, I want to sell something right now. How do I do that right now? Mm-hmm. And well, you have to build an audience first. You got to get enough people to care about you before they actually give you money for something. And that's what you've spent a lot of this time doing. So like now it's how do you move them a little bit further down your funnel to get them to actually buy something from you? Instead of being a follower, being a customer.
Exactly. Yeah. And having, so what I did was when I had one TikTok that I had two kind of paths that were happening. Like I had myself as a musician, but then I also had the teaching. So I was like, screw that. I just split the two. And so now one is solely dedicated to teaching. So I feel like I was happy with that I was able to kind of make a TikTok account that was specifically designed for people who want to learn. So that worked out well. I wasn't sure how it was going to work, but it worked out well. And I have, so many ideas and there's so many resources for free that I can give to my audience. And I do that through my newsletter and stuff like that. But what I kind of want to do is group coachings or like courses and things like that I really want to do, but I just don't have the knowledge really to make that happen. And I don't have, a ton of it's not like I'm a big corporation by any means, so I can't spend all this money in like big platforms and teams of people and stuff. So I'm just kind of want to go down that road and kind of dip my toes in the water a bit.
Yeah. I don't personally have a lot of experience in building out courses and things like that, but for marketing purposes. So you had said that you have an email newsletter and you have an email list. How deep is that? How big is it?
It's only 150 people.
And what's your total social following?
Probably like 150,000.
I'd probably start there. I mean, because the problem that we're running into, and I'm sure you're seeing this too, is that on social, you have all these followers, you have all these subscribers, which is great, but they're not all seeing your stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's only going to get worse as time goes on. So how do we get those followers into something a little bit more high intent? And that could be your email list. You want to get their information so that way you can market to them directly and make sure that at the very least you're getting into their inbox. Whether they open it or not is a different story, but at least you have that little bit of control. And the best way to do that is to have such an amazing giveaway or an amazing lead magnet to make it so it'd be stupid for somebody not to give you their information. So you said you have an ebook that you charge $9 for. What is that?
So it's sort of like it's a ebook for beginner singers that kind of explain in very simple terms the the building blocks of singing. So it's kind of like defining the key terms that are kind of lost in the mud in typical vocal training.
Okay.
So just describing basic things basically, and giving them some exercises that they can do on the daily.
When you say ebook, it's a PDF then, right? There's no video component to that, or is there?
It's just a PDF. Yeah, no video.
Gotcha. Okay. And how is that sold?
I only put it up like less than a week ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's got like 10 sales or something like that.
Gotcha. I'm wondering if you can beef that up with video accompaniment to make it more valuable. Mm-hmm. Because the thing that's made you very popular is your videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And because one of the ways that you can scale that up and teach more people without you physically having to teach is to do it through video. Mm-hmm. So, just to add value to that kind of piece. But think about something that you can create that is similar to that, PDF with video accompaniment that you can give away for free. Or if it's like a 9-part PDF, you give away the first part for free. Here's the basics of singing, video and ebook for free.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that way you have a little bit deeper of a connection with your subscribers, with your followers. How are you engaging them on social? Like, are you responding to a lot of comments? Do you have DMs? How is that going for you so far?
Yeah. I'd say a fair bit of Instagram DMs. So people coming from other platforms to Instagram if they want to message me, or sometimes if somebody's interested in a singing lesson, what I'll often do is I'll like offer a free 30-minute lesson.
Okay.
But they have to they kind of message me on Instagram. TikTok, I try to respond to as many comments as I can.
Okay.
On my smaller account, which is dedicated just for singing, I try to respond to as many comments as possible.
Right.
Because that's just lower engagement, so it's easier to stay on top of that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's mostly been it. Yeah.
The free lesson thing is a great offer, but you're trading time for that, and that can get kind of crazy, especially if you have an influx of inquiries. Right. You're going to basically screw yourself. That's why the idea of that smaller lead magnet that's packed with value.
Yeah.
And building up that email list a few thousand deep is going to enable you to sell and give you the time to build the things that you could sell. So right. It's, if you're talking about money in the bank right now today, yeah. Without having that email list, I think it's going to be difficult. Because like I said before, I think we're all reaching less people in general, and we're not really reaching the followers that we have. And one of the ways that you can reach those followers that you have is get their information.
Yeah.
So, every video that you put out should have some sort of a call to action piece, a component in it as much as you can, where it's like, if you're making content dedicated to social, whether it's follow me for more singing tips, or I have a free video that you can sign up for that'll teach you the basics of singing at the link in my bio, whatever that might be, to drive that. Because I think we've all gotten really good at driving social media engagement, the likes, the comments, the shares.
Yeah.
But I think we've gotten so far away from actually asking people to do something that's a little bit more high value, like signing up for an email list or contacting me or whatever that might be.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's not forget, we're all still trying to gain customers out of this. So don't be afraid to show that. But always keeping in mind that you have to keep delivering the value. Otherwise, people will not care. Like, people are selfish inherently first, and they want to know what's in it for them. And then the ones that are really serious are the ones that you're mining for. You're sifting for gold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one tremendous way to do that is to have a really good offer that you can get through an email sign up or an email capture. If you got 150,000 followers, dude, I think getting 5,000 emails is not going to be that difficult for you.
Yeah, I'm hoping not. I'm hoping not.
But the thing that's going to make that work or not is going to be whether or not your offer is good enough, right? And that doesn't mean and that means you could test a few different offers. Don't try not to put all your eggs in one basket if you don't have to.
Yeah.
See what sorts of things you can offer that doesn't trade your time for it. Yes. Yeah.
Because I've been thinking of potential lead magnets, and one was some kind of it's actually really quite easy because I just have so many singing resources that you don't necessarily get without training. Like they're so simple, and I can just create them. So I've been thinking of like some kind of PDF or video or audio or like email course or something like that. That'll get more email addresses.
Yeah, and also too, like sometimes you don't have to overthink things. Sometimes people will trade their information for organization, right? So people will either give their information or sometimes even pay for you to organize lots of information for them. So if you have all these resources that are scattered throughout all of your social channels, maybe organize them in a way that is nice and neat and easy that somebody will either pay for or give you their information for.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then, from a course standpoint, like I said, I'm not really well versed in that world, so I can't really speak to it too much, but like look at what's out there and try to do something completely different because everybody and their mother has a course right now.
Yeah.
So, is there anything, like, silly question, is there anything you can do for like singing in the shower or singing in the car? Do you know what I mean?
In terms of like doing that better?
Yeah, in terms of like a lesson that you can do while they're either in the shower or in the car.
Absolutely.
Right? I just thought that would be kind of cool because we all sing in the car. How to sound better when you sing in the car, you know what I mean? Like, or how to sound better when you sing in the shower.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like some kind of audio thing that you can package that they listen to in the car and try to sing along with.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea.
To help them train their ear and just learn the basics of pitch and vocal exercises and whatnot. Like you can have an entire vocal exercise audio book, for lack of a better term, that somebody could listen to in the car. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That's a fantastic idea. Thank you.
And that could be a freebie. You can give a few of them away for a free, and if people love it, hey, I've got an upgrade here that has 100 exercises that you could do in the car for $95.
Yeah. That's great because, I always thought that just learning how to sing was a little too broad. So I thought my kind of thing is, and I do this with my students a lot, is that you can learn to sing from the comfort of your own home. Like it doesn't require going to a singing teacher's house.
There you go.
And taking lessons there.
Yep.
So that's kind of like the specific thing that I've been targeting, because I have quite a few students that are like, oh, this is great because I work from home and I can't take an hour out of my day to go travel somewhere with a teacher. This way I can just hop on Zoom and do that. So that shower and car thing would tie well into just like learning how to sing, but incorporating it into your everyday schedule instead of having it as an extra thing on top of your busy life.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if there's anything out there that's like that, but not that I look for it, but I certainly haven't heard of anything like that, but just thinking about like the average person and what they would enjoy.
Yeah.
That could be something cool. And like I said, you can create a smaller version of that to give away.
Yep.
Right? And then package a bigger deal to sell either down the line or as an upsell or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
But so basically, in a nutshell, all I'm thinking of is how many different ways can I get people to give me their information in exchange for something incredibly valuable that they would be stupid not to do.
Right. And can I have one thing I'm struggling with is just like, can I have just one piece of that? Like, can I just have the freebie just to get emails, or should there be something to upsell at the same time, or that can just come later?
Well, the problem with that can come later is the fact that we're losing reach on social media.
Yeah.
And that you're essentially limited on how much time you have to gather this information. So while you have a lot of attention right now, it's a good time to build a list. Even if you don't have something to sell, that's okay. But that doesn't mean you grab their information and then you ghost them. You don't necessarily have to have the thing to sell them right now. But what I would have is a plan on how you're going to keep in touch along the way. And that might be a follow-up video once a month, whatever that might be. And that's something that you can also set up ahead of time when you're gathering this information. So it might look something like this. Give me your name and email, and I will give you five audio tracks to help you sing better while you're in the car. And every month, I'm going to give you a short video lesson on how to improve your pitch, whatever that might be. Okay. So that way they know the freebie that they're getting when they get into it, and then they can also expect something from you at a certain frequency.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because nobody signs up for newsletters. Like, let's be real, right?
Yeah.
Who wants to get a newsletter from anybody, and who's reading it? But if I'm getting something that's incredibly valuable, then, bam, you have leads. We did this one campaign with a Pilates studio where she created this. We shot 10 exercises that you can do at home. Mm-hmm. And her email series was, hey, give me your name and email, and every day for the next 10 days, I'm going to give you an at-home workout that you can do in less than 5 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they got a tremendous amount of leads from that. And that eventually, many of them led to actual in-store customers.
Wow.
So you can't over-deliver on value.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
And to be honest with you, the more that you can give, the better off you're going to be, and the better chance you have of growing that list.
Okay. Yeah. Because like as a singing teacher and as a musician, like there's really not a lot of, there's no like high ticket product or anything that I can sell. I can create it myself. Like I can create, as I said earlier, like I can create some kind of training. But in terms of an actual product, you're limited as a musician, I think.
Maybe. I mean, I know there's a lot of guitar players that offer that sell online material, and they're crushing it. Mm-hmm. So, I would try to be a little more open on that, because like who says it necessarily needs to be high ticket?
Yeah, true.
Why can't it be high volume? Because if you're telling me that a lot of your clientele are beginners who've never taken voice lessons and who don't have time to go and take voice lessons, they're probably not going to buy a $500 singing course.
No.
If that's your clientele. Now, if your clientele is more of an advanced singer, that might be a different story. Typically, with a higher level of skill, they pay more for those types of services. But if you're talking to the masses that just want to sound better in the shower, or want to be able to maybe sing and play guitar, they're not going to spend the big bucks. You're going to want that you're going to want to find that price point that they're willing to pay to get the amount of value that they're looking to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
Right? Because I would imagine you're not going to spend, you as a professional singer will spend way more than I'm going to when I'm trying to learn something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's true.
So, yeah, I mean, that's that. So I would just go to, how can you build up that list? 150 is really, I think you could kill it if you had a bigger list. And then in the meantime, while you're cultivating that list, you figure out what those 2 or 3 products are that you can sell, whether it's the singing in the car, or whether it's 50 warm-ups to get your vocal cords loosened up, whatever it might be. I don't know what it could be, but the products will come as you discover what problems need to be solved.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
right? And you'll hear from your customers and from your followers I'll give you an example. I have a really good friend of mine who's a guitar teacher, and he's on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and he's doing fairly well with followers. He's in a very similar situation to you.
Yeah.
He's in the process of building an arpeggio course.
Okay.
Because the one thing that has stood out among all of his content, hundreds of videos, is how much people latch onto the arpeggio content.
Oh, okay.
Right? So he's basically fulfilling a need that his people are telling him that they have.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't have to overthink it. Sometimes you just look at what are the most common problems that people that want to learn how to sing have, and then what can you sell to help them overcome that?
Yeah. Okay. So then he would just say, like, whenever it's built or whenever he's finished with that course or product or whatever he's doing, he would just then, to his followers and to whoever's on his email list, just say, hey, look, I've created this.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because he's working on building that audience. He's also working on building up his email list. I don't know where he's at right now, but that's one of the things that he needs to work on is building up that email list, because he has, I think, very similar. He's got like 100,000 followers or something like that across everything, and he's like, I got to figure out how to actually do something with this, because this means nothing if I'm spending all this time and not earning anything from it. It's worthless. So. But again, that he's just an example of using the feedback that you get from your audience to make a product that solves a problem. If you're not people won't buy something if you're not solving a problem for them. And the easiest products to make are products that solve problems.
Yeah. I take from my audience they want to know how to sing harmony.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So there's like right there, that's a course, right? That you can sell, or like, yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's like the thing that comes up all the time.
And that's probably, that probably has something to do also with the fact that there's a lot of videos on TikTok and reels about these singers that are playing the 5 or 6 parts of that are singing the 5 or 6 parts of the harmonies. I know you've done videos like that, and I watch every single one of them.
Yeah.
There's a fascination with harmony for sure.
Yeah. Even a course on, even just like information on just how to do that kind of video, or just to like, because I get a lot of people asking me like, how do you do it? How do you record all that? How do you do that?
Yeah, and that's a different type of customer, right? That's more of a content that's a content creator who's also a singer, which is even more niche down.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for somebody that wants to learn how to sing harmony, like right there, I mean, I don't know how to teach that, but you do. You can figure out a way to package this up really nicely and either give it away to get those leads, a smaller version of it, but that's still packed with value, and then a much larger course to upsell when the time comes. It's like, hey, listen, you're still on my email list because you love getting my emails about singing harmony. Well, I just finished up this ebook and video accompaniment that is a crash course in singing harmony.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, $97. You have it for life. And and you can also join my Facebook group where we try to amp each other up by sharing videos of us trying to sing harmony.
Yeah. Amazing. I was just gonna ask you, this might be a question I just have to figure out on my own. When you do a campaign or something like that, and you're like, I would have to set it in like MailChimp or whatever, so the correct tags would be on the people. So if they like bought if they got a certain free thing, then they would be tagged in it.
Yes.
So they want to send an email later, then it's just those people.
Yeah, you'll be able to set up in your campaigns certain email lists that are built from certain landing pages and certain freebies.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
MailChimp, if you're using MailChimp will segment out that audience properly. You just have to tell when somebody fills out this form, I want them to go into this list. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I did one freebie that I gave away was I had like a semi-viral video on it was God Save the King when the Queen died.
Yeah.
So then I made the sheet music for it, and then I just like made it a freebie to get emails.
Nice.
Yeah. One other question I have for you, and I promise I'll let you go because I know your time is valuable. Instagram, in your opinion, is it going to be okay? Is it a platform I should spend time on?
Yeah. Yeah. If you're making content for TikTok and for YouTube Shorts, spend that equal amount of time on Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels.
Facebook Reels, okay.
Yeah, because Facebook's giving out free organic reach again. So, and that's the way that they're doing it.
Interesting.
Yeah. And you've probably already I know you have a library of videos that you can put on there immediately. And those, if you're using the Creator Studio or the Business Suite, you can schedule them out. So you just batch upload and then schedule them out.
Okay. Facebook Reels.
Yeah, man. So if you have a Facebook professional Facebook page, you can start growing that pretty quickly.
Interesting. Okay, Facebook. It's funny how these platforms are scratching and clawing each other to try to get to the top, and what they'll do to get there with giving organic reach, and it's hard to know who's giving out what.
Facebook's always done a really good job of trying to cannibalize competition.
Yeah.
They did it with they literally just bought Instagram, and then then Instagram was like, okay, well, Snapchat's eating our lunch with stories. We could do that. And then TikTok came out and they're like, we could do that too. I don't think they're doing it as well, but they're like, hey, we could do that. And then Facebook's like, wait a minute, everybody forgot about us. We got to bring people back here. So then Reels is trying to do that as well. Basically, short form video is what everybody's trying to do, because TikTok, when COVID hit, TikTok took off because it was the only platform to watch short form video content that you could actually discover new people.
Yeah.
But so just one other point on Facebook and Instagram, if down the line you want to be doing paid advertising, you got to be posting content on Facebook and Instagram, because you can retarget the people that watched your videos.
Yes, that's a part of my life that I know zilch about.
So even if you can watch a few YouTube videos and get pretty up to speed on it, but you're not going to be able to do any of that if you don't post videos on those platforms. So Facebook and Instagram, incredibly valuable. Yeah, don't stop posting there.
Okay. So Facebook Reels, Insta Reels, and then just like I sometimes will throw my YouTube videos on there as well on Facebook.
Like your long forms?
Yeah.
Maybe when you have a stronger following on there.
Okay.
Long form on social media platforms is not the strong suit right now. It's short form vertical video. Like that's where you're going to get the most growth from. And what you could always do is in your videos, one of your calls to action could be follow my YouTube channel for more in-depth videos on how to sing better.
Right. Okay.
Because you're going to get paid way better on YouTube than you will on Facebook.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like now that I'm getting paid by YouTube, it's like a nice incentive to post on there. But yeah, Facebook I know will not really pay.
And one other thing too you keep in mind is that having all of your videos on every platform doesn't really give somebody a reason to follow you on all the platforms.
Yeah.
So try to think of ways that you can make each platform a little bit different, whether it's on YouTube, obviously it's long form and short form. Instagram, it's reels and maybe stories. And maybe, just photos, and Facebook could be a very similar thing. So.
Okay. My last question for you, what's a good platform or software for actually creating funnels?
What do you mean? How so?
Well,
like a landing page?
Yeah, like how do you even go about really doing that? I've kind of done it in the past, but it's not been super clear how to do it.
So you can use so MailChimp has some tools that allows you to build landing pages that go into specific lists.
Yeah.
And typically when we're building a funnel, we're building landing pages on our clients' websites.
Okay.
and we're using ads to drive traffic there, and we're using organic to drive traffic there, and then collecting the information, getting the lead, whatever it might be. But basically, if you're talking about an organic funnel or a paid funnel.
Well, I think organic probably for now, but paid.
Yep. So having that landing page at the links in your bio and driving traffic to those is going to be the way to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you're using like a Beacons or a Linktree or whatever you're using for that, having your offers plain as day as those links.
Okay.
So that way, when you say in a video, go to the link in my bio to get a free lesson on harmonies.
Yep.
Which, that's something, because again, those harmony videos tend to do very, very well. Have that link as clear as day right at the top of the link in the bio, so it's really easy for people to do. And then boom, has a capture form there, and then away you go. That's linked up to your MailChimp.
Yep. Okay. All right. Wow. Information overload. I love it.
Yeah, sorry.
No, God, no, this is fantastic. I really, really, really appreciate your time.
Yeah, man. This is what I love to do.
Amazing. Well, I will. I definitely have a lot to do. I mean, I love it too. So that's why I got to be careful that I don't do too much unpaid work. So it's good to develop strategies to make these things a little bit more monetary.
Yeah, of course. And again, you got to just remember that people will pay you if they get enough value out of you. People will pay you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I trust in the content that I can deliver, and I don't see a whole lot of people doing that kind of thing. I mean, a lot of musicians on these apps, of course, but someone who has a master's degree in singing who can actually train the people. I believe in that, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of possibility for sure, especially for the casual person.
Yeah.
For the casual wannabe singer, which we all are, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, man. Are you? But yeah, good luck. If you just reach out. Like, how to get a hold of me. Yeah. Are you cool if I release some of this as clips?
Do absolutely.
Okay.
Release as much as you want. I love that.
Okay. Cool, man. Yeah, I try to whenever I have like these types of like coaching-ish calls, I love filming them and then getting content out. So it also helps me to not have to sit in front of a camera and think of 10 videos to film.
I know that you do that because it inspired me, because I do that when I'm teaching.
Yeah, that's great.
I'll just put my phone, like I have a second phone that like I used to use, and I just like put it on the side because I don't have a camera or anything. So I just put it on the side of my desk and just hit record and then use it if I want to in content.
It's great. Yeah, it's very helpful.
Yeah. Well, thank you very, very, very much. And I'll message you again if anything comes up.
Yeah, man. Keep me posted. I want to know. So definitely keep me posted, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye, Joe.
Bye.